Hey guys, did you think the beat-em-up genre was dead? Well, it's more alive than ever. And today I bring you 10 new beat-ups for you to beat the crap out of. So without further ado, let's start the list with Tenet of the Spark, a single-player action-adventure game developed by the independent studio Roar Games, marking its debut in the gaming industry. The game follows the story of Will, a former professional boxer who returns to his hometown after a tragic event in the ring that destroyed his life and impacted others around him. He carries the weight of his past, facing street gangs and the ghosts of his past actions. Tenet of the Spark is a cinematic action game with elements of adventure, combat, stealth, and puzzle solving. The combat is described as a puzzle, requiring players to combine the skills of each character to overcome enemies and environmental obstacles.
I must know the truth. I must know.
Double Dragon Revive is a new title that brings back the classic beat-em-up series Double Dragon to the modern era. The game is being developed by Yuke's and published by Arc System Works, known for its high-quality fighting games. It promises to maintain the side-scrolling gameplay that made the series famous, but with revamped 3D graphics and enhanced mechanics. Players control Billy and Jimmy Lee as they progress through stages, facing hordes of enemies in hand-to-hand combat. The gameplay aims to be intuitive for new players, but with strategic depth for veterans, with supervision from members of Arc System Works, with experience in fighting games. Combat will require more than just button mashing, encouraging players to learn enemy patterns and find the best times to attack.
Let's see if your Soset skin lives up to the hype.
This is a casino. You've got to put something on the line. If you survive this, then maybe I'll grace you with my presence.
Let's find all your weak spots. I shall take your heads as a gift for him.
This is my ring! You ain't getting through till you put me down for the 3 count! I need more than that! Come on! Give me someone worth fighting!
End of the line, punks. Cowards! You won't hurt anyone else while I'm around.
These days, might is the only measure of a ruler. I'll use my army of dragon vein-infused soldiers to take over this land. One nation under me.
It is time we settle this. The only way this ends is with one side lying on the ground. Face me. Let's see just what you're capable of.
Spine is an anticipated action-adventure title with elements of beat-em-up and gun-fu, developed and published by Neki, a studio known for games like Shadow Fight and Vector. With a cyberpunk aesthetic and inspiration from action films like John Wick and works by John Woo, Spine promises a cinematic experience, with fluid combat, engaging narrative, and a transmedia universe. Spine takes place in a dystopian cyberpunk world where the city of Tensor is controlled by an autocratic artificial intelligence called Tensor Corporation. The protagonist, Redline, is a rebellious street artist who fights against this oppressive regime to rescue her captured brother. Spine's gameplay is one of its main highlights, combining hand-to-hand combat, gunfights, and parkour in the game. It mixes gun-fu, a combination of martial arts and firearms, with beat-em-up. Redline uses pistols, shotguns, katanas, and physical blows in fluid combos. Mayhem Brawler 2, Best of Both Worlds is an anticipated side-scrolling beat-em-up game, a sequel to 2021's Mayhem Brawler, developed by Hero Concept. Scheduled for release in 2025, the game combines the arcade aesthetic of the 90s with modern roguelite and RPG mechanics, introducing an innovative narrative with time transitions. The game promises a perfect fusion of 90s arcade nostalgia, like Streets of Rage and Final Fight, and modern mechanics, highlighting the ability to switch between two timelines separated by 20 years, offering a dynamic and varied experience. The game takes place in Mayhem City, a fictional city with urban fantasy themes. The narrative explores parallel events in two timelines, the past and the present, 20 years apart. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a beat-em-up action game with pixel art graphics that puts players in the middle of an epic cosmic battle against the Annihilation Wave led by the villain Annihilus. The game promises a frenetic fighting experience with a variety of Marvel heroes, both terrestrial and cosmic, fighting to save the universe. The game takes place in various iconic locations in the Marvel universe, from New York to the depths of the Negative Zone. The gameplay focuses on intense combat, with the possibility of playing alone or with friends, both locally and online. The drop-in and drop-out system allows players to join or leave the game at any time without interrupting the game. Marvel Cosmic Invasion stands out for its vibrant and colorful pixel art graphics, which pay homage to the classic era of arcade games. Tenjutsu is a new roguelike beat-up game developed by Deep Night Games and published by Devolver Digital. The game takes place in Secret Garden City, a vibrant but dangerous metropolis under the control of 4 ruthless criminal syndicates. You take on the role of a renegade yakuza, determined to challenge your former associates and free the city from their influence. Tenjutsu combines roguelike mechanics with a frenetic hand-to-hand combat system that requires tactical precision. Master various martial arts and utilize a vast arsenal of weapons and upgrades to defeat the syndicates. In each playthrough, you can choose the order in which you want to attack the syndicates. The first targets can be caught off guard, but the following ones will have time to reinforce. Adapt your strategy to your playstyle and the strengths of each syndicate, remembering that your enemies will become more powerful over time. Fallen City Brawl is a beat-em-up fighting game, with pixel art graphics inspired by classic arcade games from the 80s and 90s. Developed by Fallen City Studio and published by Eastasia Soft Limited, the game promises an intense and addictive action experience, with a story of ambition and revenge that unfolds amidst a violent battle for control of the city's underworld. The game features classic beat-em-up gameplay with side-scrolling progression. Players can choose from 4 playable characters, each with their own fighting style and special abilities. The combat system is deep, allowing for destructive combos, counterattacks, throws, grabs, defenses, and special moves. There is also a Fury mode, Riot, that allows for devastating special attacks. Players can collect weapons scattered throughout the environment, such as pipes, bats, knives, and firearms to increase their attack power. Rah Rah Boom is a 4-player cooperative beat-em-up with vibrant graphics and a narrative focused on the journey of a group of space ninja cheerleaders fighting to save humanity on Earth. The game stands out for its hand-drawn art, retro style, and an interesting story. The game uses a line system, similar to that seen in games like Fatal Fury, allowing for strategic positioning of characters for combos and interactions with bosses. Each character has launch commands for aerial combat and ranged attack options, as well as unique abilities. The combination of these elements allows for an expressive and creative combat experience. The game's premise is unusual: a team of space ninja cheerleaders with distinct personalities. King's Blade is an indie action game in the classic beat-em-up genre, inspired by the universe of Conan the Barbarian and iconic titles like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage. Developed to offer a nostalgic experience with modern elements, you take on the role of a warrior from an elite royal squadron on a mission to defeat the bloodthirsty Barganian Empire. The narrative is set in a heroic fantasy world, evoking the brutality and mysticism of the Conan the Barbarian universe. Inspired by classic beat-em-ups, the game emphasizes hand-to-hand action with elements of hack and slash and spectacular fights, as well as support for up to 4 players in local cooperative mode, allowing friends to play together to face hordes of enemies. If you enjoy side-scrolling fighting games with a fantasy theme, King's Blade could be an interesting addition to your library. Toxic Crusaders is a beat-em-up game for 1 to 4 players in development by Retroware and scheduled for release in 2025. The game promises a nostalgic experience inspired by the 90s animated series and Trauma's cult films. It is being developed with colorful and vibrant pixel art graphics. The game will allow up to 4 players to fight together in local cooperative mode, making it ideal for playing with friends. Players will be able to choose from 7 playable characters, each with their own unique moves and abilities. The gameplay takes place in 7 distinct levels, with enemies like the Radiation Rangers, Mutant Henchmen, and Zombie Chickens. Players will fight in stages inspired by both the Toxic Crusaders cartoon and Trauma's cult films. If you enjoy cooperative beat-em-up games with a nostalgic feel and a sharp sense of humor, Toxic Crusaders could be a good choice. So that was the video. If you can and want to contribute with any amount, I will be extremely grateful. Every super thanks makes a huge difference and motivates me a lot, besides that you will be mentioned in the next video. I'll be leaving here, stay with God, and until next time.